All right, so we're going to start recording again. Welcome to the parent orientation for kindergarten. As with all things, we start with our mission and our vision.
It's not on mine, so.
No, it just, every time someone
Okay.
tries to admit it pops up, so I don't know.
Okay.
Our mission is first and foremost in everything that we do, and that's why for us, even if we're in this distance learning world, that our goal is to have our students be empowered, ethical, and informed community members, and that is something we're going to be working on with all of our kids, with everything that we're doing. Our vision of the school is for our community school stakeholders to positively impact their local and global communities by being empowered, ethical, and informed. And especially today, in a world where we are so interconnected locally and globally with different issues and such, we feel like this is a really important vision to continue having. If you are not muted, if you could mute yourself, that would be great. Your admin team. So I've already introduced myself, as well as Julie, our principal. Beth Wolfsbauer is our assistant principal, and Alma Hernandez is our, what was that? Am I hearing?
I said, hi, Beth.
Oh,
Julie was saying good morning to me.
I didn't know you were still, you were on here. I apologize.
There's probably a lot of people that I was having some issues getting on, so
Yes.
I'm a few minutes late. So
Sorry, Beth. Sorry, Beth. So this is Beth. She's our assistant
Good
principal.
morning, everybody.
And Alma Hernandez is our director of operations. And the four of us together create the admin team. I have to say that throughout this pandemic, starting earlier last spring and all the way through the summer, there's nobody else I would rather be in this together with to work on creating really what is the best learning experiences and outcomes for our students. So grateful to be a part of this team. Responsibilities. Julie, will you take this?
Of course. So as you join our school, there are times when you're going to need to reach out to somebody, and it can get confusing at times if you don't know who to go to. I just want to go ahead and let you know, and we will be sending this out, so you don't have to take notes right now, but who to go to, and to let you know that in almost every situation, your child's teacher is going to be the first person you'll reach out to. If you have questions or concerns or comments regarding classwork, grades, assignments, or things that might happen in the classroom, your child's teacher is who you should be going to first. You know, when Lynn or Beth or myself, when we'll get an email from a parent saying, you know, we have questions on this assignment, we're not the ones that can help you. So make sure you reach out to your child's teacher for that. If you have a situation that your child's teacher was not able to resolve, or if you have questions regarding the academic programming, the various components of the educational programs, then you would come to me, and then we'd be able to problem solve. If you have questions regarding special education, the first person you would go to is your child's teacher and their special educational case manager. If then there are still questions, then you would go to Beth. But if it's regarding services or things like that, you should be reaching out to the case manager first. If you have record requests, questions, or meal application, or questions regarding paying for meals, that would go to Denise, our office manager. If you have questions regarding Parent Square, that would go to Kim, and that's Kim Montgomery, who is in the office. She's our data system specialist. Big picture questions and questions regarding the board or fundraising will go to Lynn. And if you have questions regarding school payments or payment plans, that goes to Alma. And that's usually for our older grades, when we're in an environment that allows us to do like big field trips or overnight field trips, that's really when that would come into play. I don't want people seeing school payments and thinking, what? I thought this was a public school. We are. That's just in case there are, when we get back to a time where we can do big trips with students. So that
Yeah.
that is this is the list, and you'll as we get further on, just a little cheat sheet for emails. Everybody's email will be their first name dot first letter of their last name at ourcommunityschool.org. Again, you don't have to write that down. We'll let you know that. But just so you know, there is a method to how everybody has their email. So if you can't remember what's Julie's email, Julie Treletti, so that's julie.t at ourcommunityschool.org. But we'll send this all to you.
And this orientation, Julie makes a good point. We've dramatically changed what our new parent and incoming kinder orientation looks like from what it would be in a regular school start year. And so everything is catered towards what it looks like now. Please know that once we do eventually move to being on campus, we will make sure that we're able to orient you again as to then what does it look like on campus. So everything here is really more for what is the next school year going to look like. Okay, so this is our schedule for kindergarten is second grade. And as you can see, it lays out the times on one side, and then these different columns are for the days of the week. And Julie is gonna run us through this as well. So, and then we can talk about like some sample ideas maybe of like what your kid's day might look like.
And you'll see, Lynn, I added the lines.
I do, thank you, I appreciate that.
Crazy because they're not straight or equal, and that's
It's okay, I'm such a visual learner, I need structure.
you know, I'm going to go and redo it so the lines look better because the lines are driving me nuts. But I'm not OCD or anything. Okay, so every morning from 8:30 to 9, your child should partake in some type of physical activity. Now, under the COVID-19 world, or in the COVID-19 world, schools are no longer doing PE for the most part, but rather PE should be done independently with the child. That could be having them, you know, run around the living room or play outside, but take part in some type of physical activity. And what I shared last night, for those of you that were here last night, I used to have my kids when they were like, when it was extreme season and they wouldn't be in school, I'd have them like sweep the kitchen and stuff. Something physical. Plus I learned that actually burns a lot of calories, but you know, something just physical to get their day started, to get their oxygen and their blood pumping. But that will be independent. That's not going to be something that is done through the school.
We will give a list of some options and
some websites that will have some things they can watch and do. From 9 to 9:30, every class, TK through 8, will take part in their classroom's morning meeting, whole class. Now, morning meeting is a really foundational component of responsive classroom. So every morning meeting, so your child it'll be a whole class with their entire class. It'll involve a greeting, a share, an activity, and that's when it's really focused on building community. So know that Monday through Friday, every morning from 9 to 9:30, Monday through Friday, your child should be participating in the morning meeting. You'll see on the schedule where it says Math Group 1 and Math Group 2 and ELA Group 2 and ELA Group 1. So you know, in every class there are 20 kindergartners and 2 TKs, 2 TK or transitional kindergartners. And what we've done is we realize that it'll be more beneficial to the students if they learn in smaller groups. So rather than having the whole group, we're going to be splitting every class into 11 kids each. So 11 is much easier to teach than 22, and you can get a lot more quality instruction when online the teacher's working with 11 kids. So, and your teachers will let you know by Tuesday which group your child will be in. So on this schedule, you'll see on Mondays from 9:35 to 10:35, students in Math Group 1 will be in math. with a synchronous, meaning a live session with the teacher. Now, it might not take an hour. I know very few kindergartners who could sit for an hour, much less 30 minutes. So this is something where they will have instruction, they'll go over questions, they can have a discussion and go over what work they'll be working on. On Tuesday, you'll see it's math group 2. So on Monday, while math group 1 is with the teacher, math group 2 will have work that they're doing independently. We're also trying to schedule that at that time, some of our paraprofessionals will be able to work with those kids that are not online with the teacher at that point. Afterwards, they'll have a break, a 20-minute break to get the wiggles out and have a little snack and prepare for the latter part of the morning. Then after the break, you'll see it's ELA group 2. So if your student is in group 2, that is when they would then meet with the teacher. And if they're in group 1 for math, they'll be in group 1 for language arts as well. By doing this, you'll see every student will have a dedicated amount of time of direct instruction with the teacher each day. So they'll have language arts, and then after that, they have a 45-minute break for lunch. And then after lunch, it's writing one-to-one. And what that means is that's where the kids will be working on writing assignments. And in kindergarten, that might look like draw a picture. It'll look different according to each grade level, but this is a time when the teacher will be able to check in with the kids to see how the kids are coming on whatever assignment, whatever writing assignment that is. So for example, if they read a book and it's a book report on identify the character and setting, this would be the time where they could go ahead and, you know, draw their picture and get to the point where they can label and eventually write the sentences for writing. So that'll be for 45 minutes after lunch. And then after that, it will be science or social studies. And again, we've broken that out by groups. After 2:10 is when that'll be time for the asynchronous learning, as well as during the time they're not online with their teacher. Asynchronous means a time to watch the pre-recorded lessons, or if a video has been assigned for them to watch, or if there are other assignments to do. They'll go ahead and do that at that time. After 2:10 is the time we're also giving our teachers time. I know that a lot of our teachers have kids at home and from working from home being tugged in a lot of directions. So this is when the teachers will also have some flex time to be able to answer parent emails, for correspondence, for lesson planning, and also for pulling kids in for small group projects or small group discussions. If there are some kids that are going to need, you know, meeting with small groups to go ahead and go over assignments and whatnot and to work with them. So you'll see this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday, that is when the teachers will be doing either small group instruction or conferencing with students, but there isn't live sessions on Friday. There aren't any live sessions. That's the time for the teachers to grade, to give feedback, to also—
A morning meeting, right?
What?
Except for morning meeting.
Except for morning meeting. So because morning meeting is every single day, Monday through Friday. So after 9:30, they'll really be working independently. Friday's also the time when our paraprofessionals, they will be still working with small group instruction. So that's the time that maybe they're seeing, oh, with math, you know, these kids are having challenges counting. They could pull kids in and go over lessons with them and to go over things like that. So on Fridays, while aside from morning meeting, the teachers are not having live class sessions, the paraprofessionals will still be working with students. And that's going to go on throughout the whole week. That doesn't stop. And again, that's really when the teachers when the teachers working with live groups, the paraprofessionals we're scheduling will still be able to work with kids. And am I missing anything?
No, so I think for those of you that may need more of a visual explanation, just for myself, I'm going to run through my pretend child. So I have a student coming into kinder, and like, what is their day going to look like? And I learned that they are in group 2. So on Mondays, we're going to wake up in the morning and have breakfast, everything, and then we're going to do our independent PE, figure out something that they can do around the house. And then I'm going to go to the morning meeting with the whole class for a half hour. And then I've got time between 9:30 and 10:55, this math group 1 and this break time, where I'm like, okay, maybe this is where I'm doing that asynchronous work that Julie talked about. Like I'm watching a video about math, or maybe I'm working with a paraprofessionals in a small group, or I'm going over and just, working out of my math book or things like that. I'm doing that during those times. And then I'll log in again with the teacher for my language arts session. And then I'll have lunch. And then, maybe I have the opportunity that day to work with my teacher on writing, maybe not. Realize they're working with the kids one-on-one. They're not going to be able to meet with everyone. So at like some point during these 4 days, you'll meet with the teacher, but not necessarily every day. And then I'm not in group, sorry, this keeps popping up, I'm blocking it, but that says group 1. So I'm not going to have a science and social studies on that day. So I may be doing my science and social studies on my own, because I know that on Tuesday, we're going to be really working on that project. And I know that John and Toyin really love the idea of having kids work in groups and doing different kinds of fun projects. And so we're really excited to see the kinds of things that they can come up with for a schedule such as this. We're also going to be having a music class once a week. And so once we get that schedule set, that'll get put in here. So if my child's the group 2, they're probably going to, or we said for kinder, it would be during the math group times. And so one of these days in the 9:35 slot, most likely we'll be having music. And then technology, we have a technology company we contract with for teaching the kids how to do all sorts of things on computers. And this year it's going to be a pared down curriculum. And so it's really going to be focusing on, the things that introducing the kinder kids to the computers, typing, and really they're going to be starting to do coding, even in kindergarten, but they won't be having the technology program till the second semester. And so just in the first semester, we will have everything that's on the screen here plus music.
Lynn, will they still, even though they won't have technology class first semester, will they still have access to like the typing program and everything?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. I know that might have brought up a lot of questions, but we'll be talking about some more things that lend to that. So hang in there. Communication, best ways to communicate with the school. Our website, ourcommunityschool.org. Julie had mentioned our email addresses. If you haven't been on our website in a while, we're slowly trying to update different things. But one of the things is if you go to the staff directory under About Us, you can see everyone that works here and be able to have their contact info. Our teachers will be able to have their Google Classroom pages linked to their home pages there as well, which is an easy way for you to also reference, like, where's that link for that Google Classroom, right? You can just go to the website and that could be a home base as well. So our website will have more and more things that you can go to just kind of access information that you may need. Our Facebook page, we have an official OCS Facebook page, which is our community school. There are other Facebook pages. There is an OCS Parents Facebook page, which some parents run. And then some classes, grade levels do decide to create a Facebook group page, which we can talk about a little bit more in the questions. But the only Facebook page that is official is our community school Facebook page, You can link to that even through our website, and we'll get the links out there. It's actually been very quiet since COVID started. We're never super prolific, but it's been a lot quieter since March, just because we have been in crisis mode and there hasn't been as much to post. We tend to post different things that happen on campus, and we haven't had that. So we're going to be changing that and really trying to make sure that we post more and more things. So that's a great place to connect. There will be a weekly newsletter. This year it will be going out through Parent Square. And so Julie writes a principal letter in there, plus other general information, either community-based information. So like if there's a local blood drive, or if there's different types of fundraisers for community things, opportunities for your children to participate in anything, that usually goes into the newsletter. Parent Square, and we'll talk a little bit more about Parent Square in a minute, but Parent Square is our parent app. This is our #1 way of communicating with you. I did send all of the information for this orientation through Parent Square, but I also sent you all an email. And I'm slowly going to stop doing those emails once I see that everyone is on Parent Square, because it is really, truly the easiest way for us to communicate with you. And then lastly, you can always email us specific emails to the teacher themselves or to the admin themselves. We have been using, which this probably only pertains to returning families, but we have been using like an answers email through the beginning of the pandemic, but we will be closing that email out at the end of the week. So you will need to email to the people directly that you have questions for. And then lastly, the school office, school line, the phone line, 350-5000. Denise and Gwen, who both work in our front office, are here every day and are able to answer the phone. If they don't know the answers to questions, they can put you in touch with who you need to. But please know you may not get an immediate response. Sometimes it takes time, especially since we're not all working on campus. Every day it might, up to 24 to 48 hours to get a response to a phone call. So emails sometimes I find could be a little bit faster. So lots of different ways to communicate. And our big thing this year, right, Julie, we keep saying is over communicate. Like this is part of that grace aspect of things. Like if there are questions or concerns, or you're not sure about something, just ask us. And please come to us. I know a lot of times people like to ask their fellow parents that they might know, but they might not know the proper or correct answer. They might know what they think it might be, or maybe they have a response, well, this is how it was last year, but I feel like we're in a whole new world right now. And so if really coming to us to get the questions answered that you need to your teachers and to admin is ideal.
Absolutely.
Parent Square. So I hope everyone is registered for Parent Square. Kim Montgomery, who's in the point person for that in our office, she sent out invitations to everyone. And so you should have received that and have been able to start. Can you see the getting started screen, Julie? Okay.
Yeah.
So bear with us. You may have watched this, you may not have, but in Parent Square, in the help section, they have all kinds of different videos. These are for parents, like that you can ask about how to do different things. But I like this one because it is a good little intro. And
congratulations.
Oh.
If you are viewing this
do you hear my sound?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
video, it means that your school is starting to use Parent Square. Parent Square is a safe and secure modern approach to communication and collaboration between school and home. It is a central hub for all school-wide, classroom, grade level, and group messages, as well as private messages. Everything you need to know comes right to your fingertips as an email, text, or app notification. The first part of this video will help you get started. We will show you how to activate your account and set your preferences. You will need to activate your account. You should have received an email or text from Parent Square with instructions on how to activate your account.
So I'm just going to stop it here. If you get a text message or if you get an email, we are using the email address and the phone number that you use to register your child. So if you use something different in Schoolmint during the whole lottery process, but then when you actually went to fill out all the registration paper, you use something different, whatever we have on record for you at school is what we are going to be using. So please, please, please make sure it is an email, and or if you choose to have text, that it is numbers and addresses that you use, because we're hoping that these information and the messages are going to you, not that they're going somewhere that you don't check. So that is, and it's updated daily. So if you don't have it now, it can very easily get updated. But that's where we're getting the information from, is from Illuminate, which is our school information system.
If you did not receive anything from ParentSquare, please visit parentsquare.com and click sign in. Simply enter your email or cell phone number here and click go to receive the activation email or text. Now you can create your password and log into ParentSquare. Now that you've activated your account, go to parentsquare.com and click sign in. You will enter your email or cell phone number and your password and click sign in to enter the ParentSquare portal. You will come to your school's homepage. This homepage will only show information that directly relates to your child or children at the school, plus the school.
This is what the homepage looks like on the computer, right? On your laptop, on your desktop at home. It doesn't look exactly like this on the app. I know a lot of people do everything from the app, but what we've learned too is that sometimes with settings, if you want to change the setting or if you want to try to find something aside from just what posts come through, that you'll need to log on to it on a computer. And that sometimes it has some options it doesn't have through the app. So just a point of reference for you as we move forward with this.
School-wide announcements. In the top right corner, you will see your name. Click the drop-down menu and click My Account. Here on the My Account page, you can see your account information and you can choose your notification and language preferences. Click Change This under Notification Settings. You can get an email only, a text only, or both. You also have the option to get an instant or digest message. A digest message arrives via email at 6:00 p.m. each day and includes all messages for the day. Remember to click Save if you make any changes.
Oh, I wanted to point out one little thing there. What's really important here, and we hear this a lot with parents, is they'll sign in but then not go change their notifications. You have complete power over how you're receiving the messages from us. If you do check email, then every time a message comes through, you'll get it in an email and you'll be able to read it in your email application. If you choose text, you can. If you get an app notification, it'll give you the little alert, on that app. It'll tell you like there's 1, 2, that there's a notification there. And depending on how your phone is set up, it may or may not make noise. We've had parents before say, well, I didn't know I had anything there because I wasn't looking at these little numbers that are there and it didn't make any noise for me. That's all in your personal cell phone settings. And so I would recommend keeping the email on, because that way, every time a new post comes through with ParentSquare, you will also get it in the email. And you can choose whether it's instant, which means you'll get a different email for every post, or at the end of the day, depending on what emails look like for you. For some of you, you're probably inundated with an amazing amount of emails, and you're probably like, I just want to look at it at the end of the day. But we find that most families put it down for instant, especially in the world we're living in today, where people kind of want to know the information as soon as they have it available to them.
Any changes? Under language settings, you can click Change This to receive messages in another language. We recommend you download our free app if you have an iPhone or Android phone. This is the easiest way for you to see all messages, upcoming events, volunteer opportunities, photos, and files, all in one place. Thank you for joining ParentSquare, where you can stay engaged and connected with your vibrant school community.
And lastly, I would say if you have any other questions or you want to walk through stuff, when you log in, go to this question mark over here on the top right. And it is the help menu, and you can actually download and look at a lot of other different videos like this that show you how to do things in ParentSquare, which I have found really helpful. Okay, tools that you will need for a virtual world. Technology we know is new for a lot of people, or we know how to do it for work, or we know how to do the certain things that we know. And now in the world of education, you're like, I don't know what a Google Classroom is. What is Zoom? How do I do that? Different things that maybe you haven't looked at before. I love the picture of the paint, Julie, because there's all kinds of tools that you'll need to figure out how to do, and these online ones are some of them. And Julie's become very, very good at learning all these new tech tools. Did you want to speak about
Very,
that?
very good.
Well, she's becoming an expert of sorts.
By necessity.
So this is a ComputerWise Kids YouTube homepage. I want you to notice that it just went straight to the YouTube page. There was no sign in. There's nothing here. I have actually subscribed to it because we have a school YouTube account. But if you don't have a YouTube account, you could just open youtube.com and put in the search ComputerWise Kids, and you'll get to this page. And what they've done, so this is the company we work with to teach our children technology at school, and they've spent a lot of time this summer creating different videos, how-to videos, to show mostly parents, but also the kids, how to do stuff on Zoom. So I started watching this one, which was explaining Jamboard and Edpuzzle, which I know some of our teachers will be using. And then I was watching the Mastering Zoom PD, but it was over an hour long, and so I just didn't have the time for it. But I figured I've already been doing a lot of things on Zoom, which I can figure out, except for this very strange yellow box that keeps popping up. Aside from that, I feel like we've been mastering some of these things. But here's a really great thing, like even if your kids play Roblox, you know, it can, or eventually will play Roblox, right? It'll show different things that you can do for that, some Zoom tools. If you scroll down a little bit further, like all kinds of things, how to bookmark a website, right? Where you're looking at things, how to join a Google Classroom over here, how to log into the typing tutor, and that's the typing program the kids will have access to. And just different things, like here's a longer version of how do I use Google Classroom? You know, as parents, you might want to be like, this is our learning, our LMS, our learning management system that we're going to be using. And it's like the hub for everything is going to go through Google Classroom. It'll have all of what the kids' assignments are. It's going to be how John and Toyin communicate stuff out to the kids. It'll have like their schedules in there. All that stuff will be there. So as the kids start to evolve, right, they'll be able to figure out like what is in Google Classroom. And I know some of you right now, not looking at you, are probably thinking, is she crazy? Our kids are just 5. They're going into kinder, and how are they going to be able to be mastering all this? You'd be surprised how quickly the kids pick all of this up and are able to really kind of control a whole lot more on Google Classroom as they move forward. So this is a really great resource. We're going to add this to our website as well, but I wanted to share this with you as if you're thinking of what kinds of things can I do I need to do something. I need to prepare and get ready for school. This could be something that you could look into to help yourself become more familiar with some of these tools. Picking up materials. Do you want to talk about what they're going to be picking up, Julie?
Sure. So on Monday, you'll be assigned a time by letter to pick up the materials your kids will need for the upcoming school year. What we have done is we've created a list of manipulatives for each child. Manipulatives could be like the counting bears, the pattern blocks, the counting cubes, various things. And we've ordered a set for everybody. So this week we're creating little packs for each child. So when you come on Monday, you'll be picking up whatever textbooks might be going home. Like, for example, I believe the handwriting book will be going home, along with other things. And each child will have their own set of manipulatives to work with at home. Most of them do have to do with math. But really make sure you get that and make sure you keep it in a location where your child will always know where it is. But it will contain a lot of different hands-on product, hands-on tools and resources so that the kids could really use it to learn math in the environment, in the virtual world.
We also have some technology that people can start picking up. So we've asked everyone to complete that technology form. I truly hope everyone did. It's our way of knowing what devices are the kids currently using at home. And if you've been seeing the stuff that we've posted recently, the Chromebook ordering, the supply chain situation is real. I actually was listening to NPR driving in this morning, and the state superintendent of instruction in Indiana, so an entire state, ordered Chromebooks for everyone in April, and they're delayed until October. So we're not the only ones that are in this boat, but we've been doing some magic on our side, and we'll have an announcement hopefully tomorrow to be able to let you know what the outcome will be for every child on campus to be able to have a Chromebook. And here's the reason why. I know that we've heard from a lot of families that say, no, my kid's good, they have a computer they can use at home. And I appreciate that, especially right now when we're trying to find out who doesn't have something that they can use at home, because we want to make sure that starting on Tuesday, every kid could use something, iPad, a tablet, a Chromebook, or a regular laptop, or a desktop computer. You can use something to go online to access Google Classroom, at least for now, so that the learning begins on the 18th. But our goal is for every student to have a school Chromebook. This way, when we get to the point of one, every kid will know how to use that device. The teachers will all know exactly which devices the kids are on. And when we get to the point of doing any kind of hybrid learning, and kids might be coming to school a couple days a week, then they will just be taking their computers, their Chromebooks, back and forth with them. We can't have them bringing anything from home, any home personal devices. It has to be devices that the school owns. And so that's our goal, is to getting to that. I could tell you before this pandemic, if you had said, oh, is OCS a one-to-one device school? Does every kid have one? The answer was no, and it was not a priority for us. We knew the importance of technology, but we didn't want the kids to be in a device all day long. Unfortunately, we're at this place where we have to do distance learning, and we have to rely on these devices to help make those people connections, right? And those learning opportunities happen. So you also may be picking up a Chromebook. We will let you know. We have to go through that list through the rest of this week and ensure we have a device for everyone. Or you may be picking up a set of headphones or whatever it was that you stated you didn't have that you need. And so all of those things will be happening on the Monday. And a notice will be going out to Parent Square later today, which gives you your time for when you can come pick up for based on alphabetical of your family's last name.
And Lynn, just to add with the computers, if you do have a device your child can borrow for the time being, that's great, but no, that's temporary, because we have already ordered one Chromebook per child.
Yeah.
They just happen to be in China, and they might not have even been made yet.
Yeah.
Everybody across the country and really globally have all been ordering Chromebooks, and they just can't keep up with the demand.
And I'm really hoping to be able to have a more firm answer for you tomorrow. I have a phone call later this afternoon with the distributor to see where we're at with that. Upcoming events and to-dos, meet and greets.
So on Friday, you will have an opportunity with your child to meet with your child's teacher. So notices about what classroom you're in will be going out either today or tomorrow, I believe. And that will be a time they'll set up a Zoom and send you the link to the Zoom. You'll be able to go ahead and meet with your child's teacher. I believe the time for kindergarten,
I think it's 10 o'clock.
is 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, you would log on to your teacher's Zoom session and get a chance to, they'll get to introduce themselves, tell your child a little bit about them, and get to meet your kids as well.
And then the final part of registration will be coming through Parents Square. The parents will be signing off on the parent-student handbook and understanding of some of the school policies and things like that. So that is also coming soon. Okay. I am going to exit out of this screen share so that fun yellow box does not keep popping up to us. There were a lot of chat coming in, but I didn't click on them because I thought they might block the view for things. But if you have, I'll scan through the chat, but if you have a question, you are welcome to raise your hand. There is a hand raising tool that, I don't know where you find that, but there, especially for those of you that are not showing your screen, you can raise your hand, or if you are showing your screen, you could raise your hand like this and I will try to see you, and Julie can help answer some questions and I'll read through to see about what we've missed in the chat. So Kayla, I see you. Go ahead, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, thank you for the presentation. That was helpful to kind of wrap my head around what is coming in the next week, but also
Right.
also a little daunting. So I guess my question, and if it's better to wait until Friday, that's fine too. But for those of us parents who are working from home, I'm just curious, and maybe the teachers are in the best position to answer this. How realistic is it that I am going to be able to be getting work done while he's on the computer doing his work? So I guess the question is to the teachers, are parents going to need to be there the whole time that these sessions are going on?
I'm going to say, before I'm going to jump in, I'm hoping the parents won't. I think it's really important that the kids, they are completely capable of doing this. And it's something where part of the kinder experience is so special because it's things they get to do without their parents being right there for them. So trying to find ways where the kids are able to do things. Both John and Toyin are very engaging. So for that, you know, that half hour or however long it is, having them be the ones that are really engaging your child and keeping them busy. You've already gone through kindergarten. You don't need to go through it again, you know, so it's something that we're really hopeful. In the beginning, it might be a little bit different as they're establishing the procedures and it's a brand new schedule. And luckily we are a responsive classroom school, which means we don't jump into academics. The first few weeks are all going to be about establishing expectations and procedures and building community. And that's when John and Toyin will really, you know, let them know the expectation is you're logged on and you're here and, you know, you're participating, whatever their expectations for that are. John or Toyin, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, well, hi everybody, I'm John, but I know some of you, but I think at the beginning, I think that there'll be some, you know, the first week or so, they'll probably be a lot more looking over their shoulder, making sure they're on and staying focused and stuff. But our whole goal is that they should be able to, once that computer comes on, they'll know how to get on and stay on and what the expectation is. So it's going to take we have to build some of that stamina up. But I think that's our goal, is that they will be able to handle this, and they should be able to handle this. I mean, they're probably already more computer literate at it than we are at it anyways. So it's just learning the expectation of doing it as a school setting as opposed to being at home on the computer. So, you know, kind of changing that thinking around a little bit.
And a couple of things too, by using the Google Classroom and having the same way for them to log in every day, right? And coming to that one place where we know, and we heard like in the spring with a lot of our families, and we were just really trying to figure it all out. And I think we did a pretty good job, but lots of teachers and people were doing things differently based on what they knew. And now it'll be a little bit more consistent. And so once the kids kind of figure out how to log on to that Google Classroom, and again, remember, it's not like you should know how to do this from the beginning. It's going to be teaching them how to do this and walking the kids through just like they do in the classroom. And having the two groups, really, I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm seeing all of you that are on here. I'm flipping back and forth to 2 different screens because I'm trying to see everyone. When the teacher has 11 kids only that they need to, you know, be able to work with, it's going to be a lot more manageable to be able to give the kids the personal attention they need. And then there's a lot of stuff that's in small group, right? And so they'll be able to see what that looks like too.
And we plan on doing it for anyone who's been at the school before and been through the responsive classroom procedures. We will do the same things that we would do as if we were in person. It's just that we'll be doing them virtually now, and it'll feel a little differently, but the goal is still the same, to build independent learners and who can access the learning and through their own experiences and be able to and do it properly. And it'll take, you know, step by step. We'll go through each step of the process with them so that they are able to handle it. And you know, it'll take a little bit of time at the beginning, but we will get them there as quickly as we can, so that you can actually go off and do your work at home while they're, you know, off to the side doing their work on with us. So that's the goal, and it should happen pretty quickly, I expect.
A couple of questions in the chat I'll just answer quickly. One of them, which may be what some of you are thinking revolving around this, is do you recommend anything to prepare the kids to get ready for this schedule? Because it's just been summer, right? And it's free play and we're having fun. So what do we do? I would start right now working on a morning routine. And not just having it be the kids get up whenever they get up, but starting to build in that wake up time, getting, you know, and make it like you're going to school, instead of it be you're sitting in your PJs you know, in front of the device, but get up, get ready for school. Okay, we're going to have our breakfast, and then we're going to do our activity, and then now we're ready. And if you take a few, it's not going to be easy to do right away, right? But at least now we have a week, because it's not till next Tuesday. So you can start building that in. And then maybe taking the chunks of the day that you have now this week, and instead of it just be completely open free play time, start to break it into smaller chunks of doing different things, or talking about reading, or looking at, you know, some different, you can even look at the YouTube videos with the kids on the, how do I log into Google Classroom? What does this look like? Like, you can start to kind of do some of those things to get them a little bit more set into a routine, or try to have lunch at the same time that lunch will be on that schedule, things like that.
Another thing that you might want to do, which could be really as a way to get your child excited, is if you have their school supplies, you know, have them decide where are they going to keep them, arrange that setting with them. You know, if you have a box to keep all the supplies in, let them decorate that box, make it their own. But just ways to get them really excited about school starting, since this is, you know, it's a little anticlimactic, both for student and teacher and parents, to have your child starting kindergarten not in person. And we're very aware of that. So that is a way to get them excited. Then I just want to say I'm noticing the time, because I know we only have 15 more minutes for questions. So
Yeah. No other questions? Sarah, do you want to share about the Facebook group in a couple minutes, or for a couple minutes?
Sure. Sorry, I had to get myself back on. Hi, I'm Sarah. I have 2 other kids at OCS, so I took it upon myself earlier in the year to create a Facebook group for the families we knew were coming into kindergarten, and I invite all of you to join it so you can start becoming part of our community and our families. Let's see, it is officially called OCS Kindergarten Families, 2020 to dash 2021. And so I welcome all of you to join, because we don't want any kooks trying to join, because I also have a 2nd grader and I moderate that. And there have been a few random Joes who have tried to get on our, our group. We have entry questions. So it'll ask you who your child's teacher is, which you'll know, as Julie said, today or tomorrow. So please wait for that just because I need to know verifiably that you actually know one of the teachers' names. And then it asks what our mascot is. That's the panda. And then it asks for our principal's name, so Julie. It's just a barrier to entry to anyone who's not part of our community. But feel free to join. And once you're on there, some of us have posted a picture of our incoming kindergartners so they can get a little face for their peers and stuff. So, feel free to join. You can post photos, you can ask questions, comments. It's a community page.
Sarah, have you put the teachers on it yet? Or do we need to
I
request?
have not. I have to be friends with someone to add directly, or
Okay.
you can request. John, I'm happy to be friends with you.
Me too.
So,
I'll request it down, so, okay.
but yeah, so I'm happy. You guys can request or join whatever. But you guys are welcome.
And realize that's not the official school Facebook page. It's just a group of parents. If you choose to join it, you're choosing. It's not a requirement. You don't have to join the OCS parents group.
Yeah, no, it's not a requirement at all. It's just a chance to have community outside of Parent Square. Doesn't let us communicate directly with each other except the room parents. So it's a chance for you to actually, ask questions or talk to each other a little more. And I'll also ask Shoshana if she wants to join, because there's a mom who's usually on each of the class pages. And so it's sort of like a backup for important announcements. She'll help us with that to make sure all eyes see them. So that's about it.
Great, thank you.
Sarah, it only took you 3 years to get all 3 kids here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. My kids have joined 1 year at a time.
Well,
yeah,
we're happy
starting
for
with
you
my
to be
middle.
with us.
So-
Yeah.
Can I say something into you? You had mentioned, Lynn had about getting ready and start getting that procedures going. I really encourage everyone to set up a school spot in their home, like a place that is dedicated for school as best you can. I know that everybody's situation is different and you may not be able to, but if you can set up just a little spot at the table that is where they will always be every day, so that's part of that routine with their box and their writing paper and all their supplies there. That way, it sets that mindset. It's like, oh, I'm in school when I'm sitting here, and that will help get them ready. So I strongly encourage you to, if you can, to set that up in some way, and it's so that it's not on their bed, and it's not it's not
On the couch.
Someplace actually, or on the couch, someplace where actually they're sitting as if they might be sitting at a table at school, so that it kind of sets that tone that they're actually ready to go. And you can start practicing. And it could be as elaborate as you want it to be. And that can start getting your child more enthused about being, coming to school and everything. Since we don't have that whole coming to the school experience, try to simulate it as best we can.
Yeah.
And another thing, John, with the setting up a very dedicated spot, we know if you have multiple kids, a dining room, a kitchen table only has so much space. What we found to also be helpful is if you have washi tape, the decorative tape that comes off easily, you could even square off a certain space for them so they know this is their space. And if you have multiple kids, it might stop that, I don't know, my kids used to, your pencil's in my space kind of fun. But if there's the washi tape, then it's like, yeah, no, it's not, it's on my side. So those are just things we've learned over the past few months.
Right. Someone had said they're unable to change their phone number on Parent Square. That is correct, because it feeds through Illuminate. So if you need to have it changed on Illuminate, since you probably are not fully into the parent portal yet, just give the office a call and they can update your contact information on there. And then, yes, for now, we are talking about doing distance learning for the first semester of fall. All of this and the decisions for what are we going to do for the spring, or when are things going to change? Like, we just needed to pick an end for us at the moment, which is why we went to first semester. So our teachers are able to say, okay, now we can backwards plan. We can really master this distance learning model, and we can have it be a model where we can eventually move it to hybrid if we need to. All of this, I know you all watch the news every day. It's all contingent upon, first and foremost, what the county public health will allow us to do, and then 2, what is best for our school. So depending on, we're not going to make any decisions or do anything where the kids may, or the staff may not be in a healthy, safe situation on campus. So for now, we're going to try to master this distance learning, and you will be, once you're all set up in a Parent Square, you'll be there with everyone as we go through this and have these communications about what are the best decisions that we need to be making. I know some of you have been recently added as offers are still out there and we're filling up. So we will eventually get you caught up to date. If you've been recently accepted within like the last week and you maybe missed some things that we sent out earlier in the year, you can always give the school a call. There's a question about school supplies that they should get. Julie, I think those are posted on the website, correct?
If you go to ourcommunityschool.org and scroll down, there's a bunch of big circles, and one of the big circles is school supplies.
Yeah, so it's under the news section, just on the main homepage. So you can find the school supplies there. Yes, Illuminate is something that you will need to log into, and we will be sending you the information for that and for everything else. So yesterday was the first day for the teachers to come back. So we've been doing trainings and get everything together. But once we have stuff, we'll be sending it to you. I saw 2 questions. So Dina and then Megan.
Hi, yes.
Hi.
Well, thank you first off for all the info. We're new here this year too, and we're really appreciating all the communication. The question that I had was around the Facebook site for the class, kind of off topic, because I have a 2nd grader too. So is there likely a different like parent Facebook group for 2nd grade?
There's probably something for that grade too.
Okay,
Let's
great.
find out, because Sarah has a 2nd grader, so she might.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Yes,
Sarah, I have a feeling we're
I
gonna
will
be
look up the
communicating a
official
lot.
name for you. It is called OCS Parents of 2nd Grade 2020 to 2021. And it'll have some questions too. Sorry, what was your name?
My
Dina.
name is Dina.
Oh, Dina. Okay, there. Okay, so when I see you come in on both lists, I can just approve because I know you're on here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you.
Megan, did you have a question?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
I'm in bad lighting.
That's
So,
okay.
as far as the meet and greet with the teachers on Friday, unfortunately, I will be at work because I am still an essential worker. I'll probably have to like join it from work, so my daughter won't be there, obviously. Is this gonna pose any problems, or what do you suggest I do as far as that goes?
It's
I
great.
first just want to say, for all of you working parents, especially for our essential working parents, thank you for what you're doing and being able to, I mean, there's so many people who wish they were working these days, but as an essential worker, like, thank you for working and being able to take time out of your day. The answer to, is this going to pose a major problem? The answer is always no.
Okay.
This is grace and gratitude. We are getting through this, right? I mean, like, we got to hold on to each other tight, right? And like go through this like step by step to get there. And everyone's circumstances are completely different and people are in different places. John, do you want to speak to what they should do if they miss?
Well, so a couple things on that. It's not major. This is a chance for us to meet each other on Friday, since we don't really have a chance for you to pop by school and do that. So it gives you and your kids a chance to see us before we get started, and a chance to actually ask questions, and then we'll, and I can, and I'll guide that meeting along so that everybody has a chance to participate and feel at least a little bit comfortable coming next week. But so nothing is. It's not going to be earth-shattering if you're not able to, if both of you are not able to be there, or if anyone is, for that matter. But it's that opportunity. But also, we are this whole experience is new for all of us, and so we have created over the summer. We've worked hard to create a systems and everything. But it's all going to be learning for all of us, and so if something's not working, we'll fix it and we'll work on it. So there's no kind of earth-shattering experience is going to happen at the beginning here. We're all going to be walking through this very slowly together, learning it all together. So we've got your back, and hopefully you'll have our backs, and we will make this as easy as we can. We know this is such a huge thing. This is your kids going into kindergarten. It's such a big deal. We really wish that we could be doing it the other way, but we're going to give it as best the OCS way as we can going forward with this. I think it's going to be really okay. And it will be okay. We're going to make it through this. It'll be good.
And this is
Thank
where
you. That sounds good.
communication is so important, right? Just communicate it, share, let people know I couldn't do this, or we're having an issue with that. I mean, who knows, at any moment in time, I could lose internet, boom. And like, what would happen, right? Like, there's all kinds of things that happen. We just have to continue communicating with each other so we can kind of walk everyone through.
Especially we know that at the beginning it's all going to be new, and so we'll be doing baby steps the whole way.
Yeah.
And I think what they both said, which I just want to just really stress, very few things at school are earth-shattering. It's really important to keep it in perspective. It's kindergarten. It's not like if, you know, they miss something that their chances for Harvard go out the door. Just in the bigger picture that I'm hoping, if we are to learn anything from this pandemic, I'm hoping we're learning about keeping things in perspective and communicating, because truly I can't think of anything that is earth-shattering for kindergarten. And know that we're here to hold each other up and just communicate with your child's teacher. There's nothing we can't figure out together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Toyin, did you want to add anything to that? Or it's okay if not, but.
Hi everyone, I'm Toyin. I'm new to OCS this year, and I can't wait to meet you all, hopefully in person soon, maybe. I do not have anything else to add because they covered it, but we'll have more to talk about on Friday.
Great, and I have one last question in the chat, which is a great one for those of you that have multiple kiddos. Every grade, I think, has twins. There's, I think, a couple sets of twins here in kinder. 2 or 3, actually, I think, sets of twins in kinder.
Yeah, I think there's 3.
Yeah, always. But there's also a number of you that are here that are either returning parents with kids in older grades, or some of you that have a new kinder and another new child in the older grades. So the question is, how do we effectively manage distance learning for our kids if we have multiple children? Would the schedules be similar across the grade? So Chrissy, thanks for that question. Julie, do you want to speak on that? Because I know in the beginning we had talked about how we would try to get siblings all be on the same schedule, but
so first let me address twins. If you have twins, I want you to know they will be in the same class and the same group. So if you have twins, that was our number one, well, not number one, that was a big priority for us. So that your kids, as long as we're virtual, they will be in the same class and they will be in the same group. So they'll be online at the same time. They'll be doing the same thing at the same time. If you have kids across grade levels, this was a really hard decision because there were equal pros and cons to having all the kids in the same group, even though different grade levels and whatnot, and then having them in separate. Because parents feel both ways. It'll be better if they're all online at once, or it'll be better if they're online at separate times because we don't have all the devices, or our internet is can't withstand it, or it's just easier for me to deal with one child at a time, basically. So we haven't placed them. We kind of just did it randomly for kids in other grades because, first of all, it was also very difficult to line them all up because there are different schedules for different grade levels. It's not as if the whole school is on the same schedule. So we decided it was really the kids were placed and the teachers will be placing them in groups, but we were not able to line it up with what the kids in other grades are. And again, parents have different opinions on what they would prefer. It wasn't an easy choice like with twins, where it's just common sense. At least what I felt was twins, same group, same class. Plus, a lot of our parents of multiples did go ahead and email us and requested that, even though we had already made that call.
Okay. So one last final question? I think we're good. We've had everyone's questions answered. This will be recorded and I'll post it onto Parent Square. So please make sure that you are able to sign into Parent Square. That's your #1 homework if you haven't done that yet. And then all the other future stuff that we're asking for will come to you in reminders and letting you know when these different things are happening. It's a different kind of year. I know normally it's like, 2 weeks before school, we get school supplies, and we're really doing all of these different things, and everything feels kind of really fast in here as we're trying to sort through it all. So just remember to breathe. It's okay if things are not perfect. I actually am really beginning to dislike the word perfect on so many levels, as I'm hearing people concerned about their children not being perfect. And I'm like, oh, what a boring world it would be if we all were. So just, accept things as they come, and please ask questions. Write to us and shoot us messages if you do have questions. All right. Well, thank you everyone for your time this morning. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you another time.